is Esi Kokui. Welcome to my channel. I have a new video for you today. I am going to be watching Dark Girls 2, if you can't tell by the title. I am a dark girl, it's no secret, and I have dealt with a lot of, discrimination, colorism, just a lot of insecurities, self-hate, all that growing up being a dark-skinned girl. This isn't something that I wanted to feel. I wanted to be proud of the fact of I wanted to be proud of the color of my skin. I just didn't know how to get there, especially when I was younger. And I'm in such a better place now. I definitely love the skin that I'm in. I love the shade that I'm in, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But it took a while to get there. So I want to go through the documentary and just kind of talk about the important parts that it hit, kind of share my reaction. So this is like a reaction video. And yeah, I'm just watching it with you guys, and you're in my bed with me. I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit more, but yes, I have a really, really girly bed. So excuse that, but other than that, I just want to get into this and just have a little bit of a discussion with you guys, and we can continue this discussion down in the comments. Don't forget to comment down below if you have anything that you would like to say, anything you agree with me, anything you disagree with me about. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. So let's get into it. I don't want to talk much further because this is a long documentary. So let's go into it.
Worse than any nightmare could possibly be imagined. The only thing socially that we had to bolster ourselves was the tone, the color of our skin, the hue of our skin. It was a natural thing for the white man to say, we have to divide and conquer. Because if they ever get together, we're in trouble.
If black people, if Africans, if we came together in the way that they're just so scared of, they have a reason to be scared, because they will be in trouble. My mom just told me, we were talking about Ghana and how Ghana started, and how Kwame Nkrumah, he wanted all the African countries to unite. He wanted them to all gain independence, and he wanted Africa to be like where America is, but even better and greater, because we have all the resources in the world in our one ass continent. We have all the resources. So we could have been an amazing, amazing force. But America knew that. That's where America knew that. And some people in Ghana, they didn't agree with the way that he was going about things, because he was focusing on different countries within Africa and less on Ghana. So then the coup happened. And since then, like, we could have been a great, great continent. But, other factors came into play, and we just didn't get there. I mean, there were probably many other opportunities, but I don't know why we can't come together as, you know what, I do know why. There are systems in place that control and stop us from getting to that point. But I have no doubt that one day we will get to that point. So it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but one day we will get to that point. We will realize, and we will be able to beat past those systems that have us in chains.
As slaves, there were more favorable traits associated with women of lighter skin tones than that of women of darker skin tones. So that gets passed on generation after generation.
You can read about early Africans, and the first time they saw whites, they were horrified. They thought they looked like monsters. They thought they looked like death, like bones that have been bleached in the sun. And to go from that, we're the standard of beauty, and these people are monsters, to a situation where over the course of centuries, white people and black people are taught to believe that white is better, that white is beautiful and black is ugly.
And it's so crazy that that switch happened where being black and being black and having the skin that we have was the standard of beauty, because that's all that there was in the world. And then now white people are the standard of beauty. I think that we're still talking about this, like what they were saying, it's very prevalent today. It's in our school systems. I didn't really, I learned about racism in school, but my eyes were not open until I went to college. Um, yeah, I did not know to what extent my people were treated. I didn't know to what extent racism was rooted in every single thing that we do. In a lot that we do, a lot that we deal with in the healthcare system, the police system, within jails, within everything. I didn't know how much it was rooted in a lot of what we deal with day to day. And so that's why we're still talking about this. That's why it's still prevalent today. And the fact that white supremacy is in, like, the way even black people think, the way that we deal with issues, the way that we talk to our kids. Sometimes it's in the, I would say it can be in the, like, more traditional black people, traditional Africans, and just like, oh, okay, maybe it'd be better if you had your hair straighter, or maybe it would be better if, like, it is still, or a little bit lighter, stay out of the sun, don't get too dark, whatever. Like, it is still prevalent because white supremacy is a thing and it needs to be addressed. It really needs to be taken down and broken. Like, done.
Straight out of Compton, producers in hot water this week over a casting call some are calling racist and colorist. The call categorizes women by letter grade, with those in the A and B category being light-skinned with long hair. The lowest category, D girls, calls for medium to dark skin-toned women.
So the fact that they had A girls and D girls in elementary school, I was I was on the basketball team, and there was an ABC team, and I was on the C team. What team do you think C team was? The C team was obviously not the best team of our basketball girls, whatever, department. It wasn't. It wasn't. I knew it. I wasn't good. I knew it, and I was on the C team. I was okay with that. But the fact is, I knew I was on the C team. That in itself is a little problematic, actually. The fact that, yeah, that in itself is a little problematic. But we're not talking about basketball. The fact that it goes A, B, C, D, girls. And what was it?
In the A and B category being light-skinned
Light
with
skin
long hair. The
and
lowest
long
category,
hair
D
with the
girls.
A and B girls, which means that those are the girls that we want to see in the front of the music video. That's the girls that we want, all around in the screen and all that stuff. We want the girls with the good hair. And then the D girls are poor, not in good shape, medium to dark skin tone. Even C girls, it says these are African, medium to light skin. So we're just dumped at the end. At the end. Like, that is so trash. That is so trash and disheartening. Just that alone, and like I said, it happens in the black community because it's been ingrained in us. It's been ingrained in us where we think, not everyone, but where people think that lighter skin means better looking, better opportunities and all that. Darker skin girls, D-list, not good enough. And that's what we teach our girls. That's what we teach them. And that is what keeps on being ingrained in them. I felt like I was at the bottom. I felt like I had to be light skinned for people to look at me. The only time I ever felt good was when I was in Ghana. Because I don't know if it was the fact that I was American or whatever, or just they would gas up my skin. They would gas me up about everything. And I was like living it and loving it. I never felt that. I was very like taken aback every time I went to Ghana. And I loved it. I never felt beauty like that growing in America. I never felt like I was that beautiful. Until now. But growing up, no, I didn't. Because of the fact that it's so ingrained that we are D-list girls. But we're not D-list girls. We're not.
It was not that hard to see that people do not like the loudmouth, truth-telling, dark-skinned black girl. Lighter hued people get a pass. People love to see them being unapologetically black.
Wow. I'm having revelations. I don't think I've ever been loud. I've been a very big personality. Ask my mom, I was everywhere talking to anyone, doing whatever. Like, I was always in everybody's face. And that stopped at a certain point. I think around like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade time, that period. I moved a lot during that time. And I don't know. I do think that the fact that I was dark skinned and then I what is it called? I was going to these even wider schools. I was going from a predominantly Asian school community to a very white school. I moved to Nebraska, and then I came back, and then I went to a predominantly white and Latin school. But yeah, I wasn't used to that. And so I feel like I suppressed myself so I wouldn't be too, I don't know, too much. I need to dig into that a little more.
As I look back as an adult, I saw so much self-hate in these, because it was like the black kids, like kids my color, saying that to me. Some days I'll like go back and like think like, I wonder where this kid is or this kid, and their life manifested into like a self-hate. I mean, they just kind of went nowhere, really. But it's really sad because they were failed as children.
Children are cruel. And it seemed that every feature I had was unbecoming to my peers.
Yeah, kids are definitely cruel. I will never forget this. He was my best friend at the time, and I remember we were walking out to lunch, and he asked me, why does your back arch? He said, why does your back arch like that? Why is there so much of an arch in your back? Why are you like sticking out your butt like that? And I was just like, I was so confused. I was like, I don't know. That's just the way that my back is. I don't know. And like growing up, I don't have much of a booty as I did when I was younger, but I definitely had I had a deep arch in my back, and I had bigger butt than the rest of the girls in, my school. And so, or at least for my size, I had a bigger butt. And so I guess people would stare, and his comment would threw me off. And I guess because he felt like he was my best friend, he could ask me that question. But that's just the way that I was born. Like, that's what I was born with. And that is how my body grew into being. And it's beautiful. And he just made me feel like it wasn't. And and I started getting curves. I had my boobs before everybody. I had a period before everybody. And I used to pray to God, please stop the curves from growing. Stop them. And now I'm flat. I want my boobs back. Now I don't got the booty that I want, but you know, God listened. But yeah, it was self-hate, and I wish that I wouldn't have prayed to God to take away the things that he blessed me with.
I think I go back to being that little girl, remembering that time, that emotion, being embarrassed because, you know, people were laughing and pointing, and remember when he said this about her, and, you know, watching me break down, you know, watch me run off into a bathroom. I never really liked the spotlight on me, so people pointing. Apparently I have residue. And being a girl, being a sensitive girl, young lady, trying to do all that's right and still not being accepted, not being popular. I didn't want that kind of popularity, but I didn't want to be teased.
I think I definitely grew up I grew up being everybody's friend and trying to be everybody's friend. And in a way, I did want to be popular. I wanted to be liked. And so the best way to be liked is to talk to everybody, to have a hand in everybody's like friendship. And I just wish kids were taught better. And racism, colorism, all that stuff is taught. It's not it's not something they're born with. They're definitely taught it. So I wish they had better examples, because I can blame them now as an adult, but as kids, they didn't have too much of a choice. So I just hope they're better people now. I hope they realize, you know, for all, not just my experience, but for all. Oh yeah, for all. I hope that all that I've gone through that, I hope that the people are trying to be better people, at least.
Even just like hanging out and doing like normal preteen teenager stuff, like going to the mall and stuff, I definitely noticed like eyes will follow her first, or like my lighter friends first, and like I was like the ugly one out the group. Nobody said that, but it was understood. And like even stuff like taking group pictures and things like that, I remember having anxiety about like having to take group pictures.
Same here. Group pictures, I was always the darkest. You can barely see me in pictures. As long as everybody else looked good in the picture, then it was okay, right? Sorry the light didn't catch you this time, Esi. So, yeah, that definitely sucked. And sometimes I would feel like I was annoying them because I didn't look good in pictures, or because I couldn't show up in their pictures in the way that they wanted me to, or whatever. Like I felt I feel like that's why I have anxiety with taking pictures, or I don't feel comfortable with pictures. And mostly things I take now are selfies. I don't take full body because it's just, wow, more realization, more realization. Probably, yeah. I feel really uncomfortable taking group photos, photos of my full body by myself. I don't feel like I'll look good. And that's something I still deal with. I don't feel like I'll look good. That I'll have to do a lot of editing or whatever to make my skin show up, or to just look as pretty as other people do with full bodies. I'm just going to tell you guys now, I am not, like I said, I'm still on my journey to loving myself. I love who I am. I love the color of my skin. But there are things that I'm still working through and dealing with. I still have body dysmorphia. I still have issues. Like you see, I'm realizing a lot of things and why I have underlying problems. And so I'm starting to realize things, and I'm still working on myself. I'm not one of those YouTubers where I can give you expert advice on how to be just beautiful and comfortable in your skin, but I can give you my experiences, which is why I want to do this and help. So. No, it's okay. The fact that she eventually realized that she had to come to that part of realizing that you're going to be beautiful no matter what shade you are, no matter what you come out looking like. Like, you have beauty. Someone's going to find you ugly, but it shouldn't be for the fact of the color of your skin. It shouldn't be for that.
Forcing.
I remember I would say ninth grade, I thought, like, what if it just wasn't here? It'd just be easier. But, like, the only thing that got me through that was, like, my mom telling me and my friends, especially Kamaya, just, like, being there and having someone to talk to. It just made me think, like, I can't leave them. Because it keeps me, like, coming to school every day and, like, keeps, like, the smile on my face sometimes.
It's painful.
It is. Because it shouldn't happen to anyone. We shouldn't have to hate ourselves because of the color of our skin. And the fact that I had to talk one of my best friends out of not wanting to be like that because the color of our skin, about the fact that we're just so bad. It's not right. You have to love yourself and love the others around you and know that you're gonna be okay. And you have to stay strong.
Goodness gracious, I don't even know what to say. I've dealt with a lot of just not wanting to be here anymore because I was never going to achieve the desired skin color, the desired body, the desired whatever that pretty light skin privilege got. And I was devastated. Used to do harmful things to myself. I won't go into detail, but I didn't I didn't feel like I was worthy of being here. I didn't feel like I deserved to be alive because no one was treating me well. No one wanted to be with me. No guys wanted to be with me. All my friends were leaving me. I definitely wasn't the pretty one in the friend group. I wasn't treated like it. So, yeah, it was hard growing up and just not feeling worthy enough to be alive.
And was like, okay, now, hey, I want to have his baby because my baby may not be as dark as me.
Even as I grew up into a young woman, I'd never found myself attractive because I would think about, oh, my complexion is too dark and I'm not appreciated. And it's something that we would hear as women of color all the time. Oh, you're too dark, or you're pretty for a black girl, or...
And that's true. It's not just something that, it's not just something that, like, we would internally feel. It was things people were saying, like, oh, you're too dark. Oh, stay out of the sun. Oh, don't, like, it wasn't always subliminal things. It was literally sometimes just, like, plain as day, like, you're dark. People would tell me that. They would say that. And it just, I didn't hear people saying, oh, you were light to a light-skinned girl or to a white girl or whatever. No one would say that. So I'm like, why are people telling me that I'm dark? Is there something wrong with it? And it made me really feel like there was something wrong with it.
Pretty. They told me I was pretty. They told me I was bright. They had expectations of me. I tell people, my family is like a walk on water. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. If you can instill that level of confidence in your children, no matter how they look, get them to believe in themselves, what they hear out there is less likely to affect them negatively. And so I thank God for the way that I was brought up.
Not shaming my parents or anything. I don't think that I was brought up crazy. I definitely, like I said, it is taught to you. You are taught in the way that you should address people of different races and colors and all that. I don't think, and how you feel about yourself. And like I said, I do feel like I do feel like growing up, my parents did do the best that they could to just always make me feel like I was pretty, like there wasn't anything wrong with me. And like I said, I had a big personality. I just think that going to school and being around people that just didn't... I went to school a lot, and my parents worked a lot, so I was mostly around other people than around my family. And that is what destroyed me. It's what destroyed my whole self-esteem. Like I said, I am in a totally different place than I was when I was younger, but it is really sad that I spent so many years just not liking and appreciating myself, my beauty. Like, it's crazy. And I'm gonna make up for all that time lost now and just love on myself. That's what I've been really embracing in 2020, is learning how to love on myself, learning what I need for myself, and making up that time, because I spent so many years just not even appreciating what I saw in the mirror.
It was kind of strange when people that looked like me called me a white woman. Oh, yes. They said that I was white. And it took a while to kind of come to that level of understanding of why they would use that. One, it's being called Obruni. And Obruni means white person or foreigner. And yes, I was a foreigner because I wasn't born in this country, but it didn't make me less of an African. So it took a little while to get accustomed to that. Obruni also means he or she who has come from beyond the horizon. And I came from beyond the horizon. And who they saw during that period of our enslavement were white people coming from beyond the horizon.
Wow, I didn't know all that. So this is my language, tree. Yes, I was called. I think more so. Yeah, more so when I was younger. I know that I said that growing up in Ghana, like, I was definitely put on a pedestal, but there were times where people would say these things. They wouldn't really refer to my skin color as being too dark, but they would make comments like I was a white woman, or like they would say a brony because I came from America. I came from California, the Americas of the Americanist America, or the sun and the sunny skies, Disneyland, all that. Like, that's what they saw. I was a brony, and that's what they would call me sometimes. It was annoying and something I definitely didn't want to be called. People would say the way that I would write, the way that I would walk.
What they call you when you have a lighter complexion. And then they used to call me Obroni, which is the term used for people from outside. And I really resisted it because I felt it othered me. It didn't make me Ghanaian enough. So I actually wanted to be darker. When I went to the States to do my graduate...
It's really crazy because I went through that as well, mostly with, so my cousins, we were going to be in my auntie's wedding, and they all had their hair cut. They had their natural coils out, and their hairs were shaven, and it was beautiful to me. I thought, like, all these people in Ghana are so beautiful. They have their hair short, and they're beautiful and confident with it. And so I wanted the same. I was like, I want to look like them. I want to look like my cousins. And so I felt because I didn't look like them, I wasn't Ghanaian enough. The fact that I was coming from America, I wasn't Ghanaian enough. And then when I cut my hair, so my mom took me to the shop, and she told the lady to cut just the perm out of my hair at the end, right? And the lady cut my whole hair up to my scalp. And my mom was upset with the lady because she told her not to cut off that much, but she did. And I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I was like, I finally look like my cousins. I finally look Ghanaian.
There's this saying that if you are going to church and you meet a white man on the way, you better go back home because you've already met God. You ask anybody, any child, to give you a picture of God or Jesus, and they are going to give you a picture of a white man. I wouldn't nail it down to Christianity, but to which people decided that if you are drawing God or you are drawing Jesus or you are drawing good things, it should be a Caucasian, blue-eyed, blonde person versus the devil being a black man. Personally, I don't even believe that God is a man to begin with, right? So God is not a man. I strongly believe that God is a woman because of how merciful he is. It's only women who are able to exhibit the certain characters that God exhibits. I also even don't believe that the devil is also male, because the way the devil is able to do certain things, I don't think men have the capacity, but that's a conversation for another time. So that is that.
Oh, okay. I never thought about it like that, but yes. I feel like God is a woman. I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to go into further conversation, just comment down below.
There was this issue we had with Nivea, I think, in Africa, where they were selling, and this I had a problem with on my show specifically, where they were selling what seemed like, a lightening cream, and that's something they wouldn't sell in Europe, for instance, but it's in Africa. My aunt lives in Italy, and she says that Nivea, they don't sell what they market to us in Africa, but because they know how big colorism is here, because they know how women want to be lighter skinned, they sell it here.
Yeah, I remember all these things are coming up to me, and I'm just like, it's been all through my life. But my cousin, she's older, very much older, maybe 10, 12 years older than me, or more than that. She lightened her skin. She used lightening creams, and I just remember my mom and my aunties telling her, like, don't do that. Why are you doing that to your skin? Your skin is beautiful. Stop. You don't need to do any more. Stop it. And I was young. I didn't really know what was going on, or I knew what was going on, but I was like, lightening cream, why is she lightening her skin? I think she looks pretty, but I don't know, like, was she prettier before? Because I don't really remember how she looked before. I wasn't around her a lot growing up, but I didn't realize that she was lightening her skin, that people were doing it a lot, and it was a problem. I feel like the way they were describing it and telling her to stop, it was like she was addicted or just like very obsessed with, looking lighter, because it was a thing. You were more accepted when you were lighter, whatever, but I feel like you can tell. I can definitely tell when I see aunties who have lightened their skin in all cultures. You can tell, and it's not that pretty.
I think the visual thing is really important.
Oh, for sure.
And I know that sometimes people don't like social media, but I think that social media is a great way to...
I think the visual for me, I had a lot of Black representation for sure in my life. We watched a lot of Black shows, Fresh Prince, A Different World, Martin, all that in my house all the time. Wayne's Brothers all the time. But I will say, like, my favorite character to this day is Whitley Gilbert. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being obsessed with Whitley Gilbert, but she was the one that I went to, not like a Florida Evans. I loved the Black Vivian, but I don't know. Whitley Gilbert was my girl. Oh, on the show, who else could have been my girl? Kim wasn't my favorite. Julissa wasn't my favorite. But I was obsessed with Whitley. And I loved Freddie. I don't know if that was internal. I could unpack that more, but those were my two favorite characters. And that's my favorite show in this whole entire world. My favorite show, hands down. But my favorite characters were Whitley and Freddie. Two completely different girls. Why didn't I ever gravitate towards Kim or Julissa? Now, looking back, I definitely appreciate them a whole lot more than I did when I was a kid. But just to be honest, like, growing up, they weren't my favorite characters.
People that look like me, or people that are in places that I want to be, and they're Black people. And I think it's important to put that in front of your face because it's an encouragement. But we didn't have that, even 10 years ago. So now I feel like a younger generation can now look and know and celebrate those things on a regular basis.
For sure. I think that with Instagram, you can definitely make your feed to how you want it, what you want to see. You follow the certain type of people. But you're also going to see things and images going to be completely distorted, especially when there's Kim Kardashians and there's all the BBLs that you see and all that stuff. Not that plastic surgery is bad. I'm not saying plastic surgery is bad, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make you feel like your naturally homegrown body is always acceptable. And then the fact that you see all these light-skinned models, light-skinned people all throughout your feed, even when you've tried to make it pro whatever, you still see those representations. Sorry, I'm moving. But you still see those representations, and it can make you feel bad about yourself. I have to log off sometimes, but I'm gonna be honest, I've never taken a whole social media break. For some reason, I can't. I don't know if that means I'm addicted, but I cannot completely log off. I'm a business owner, so I can't completely log off. I have to stay on social media. But for some reason, even with that, like, I'll take breaks all the time when I'm just like, I don't want to post. So why am I still logged in? Why am I still so like, I need to see what other people are doing, what they're wearing, what they're talking about? What is it?
Way that I couldn't when I was first starting.
I kind of feel like social media is a plus now, because on my social media page, it's all these pages of like people just praising Black women in all shades and all different hair textures from 4C to 4A. And it's, to me, I like social media and I like going on there, see what Black people are doing that are good, because it's like we created a community for ourselves, and it's not as negative, I guess you can say, as it was before, where it was just light-skinned women being worshipped and put on a pedestal and I guess being idolized into something that they don't even want to be, like, because they're not perfect, you know?
I'm back over here. Healing. That's what we need. It's a lot of trauma that's been said, but let's get to some healing.
It's hard for me to understand how we got to a place as a Black people that we turn our nose up or frown upon therapy. And I think we're the people that need it the most. When you're a man and you're a slave and you have to watch a slave owner do what they do to your daughter or your wife, or your families are separated and sold to this plantation and that plantation, and you beat a person down in their mind because, truthfully, we outnumbered them. So if you didn't whoop us in the mind, you weren't gonna whoop us physically. So they learned, if we got you in the mind, we got you. And I don't think we're far removed from that. So it's very important for me to take care of my mental health.
So I'm gonna wrap this up. It's also very late. But yeah, that was a really good documentary. I'm really glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I got to react to it with you guys. I would say I had a lot of realizations, as you could see, within it, and I'm ready to continue healing and understanding myself, where my trauma comes from, and how to overcome that, because I am light. You guys are light. You're told that you're dark most of your life, but darkness brings the light. Being dark, being a dark-skinned woman, you bring the light to this world. Being a black woman, you bring the light to this world. So don't ever let someone dim you because they are uncomfortable with themselves, or they don't know how to appreciate you, your skin, who you are, who you will be. So don't let anybody try and make you feel insignificant for who you are and what you were born with, because, like it was said, God makes no mistakes. So I definitely appreciated this. Thank you for reacting with this with me. I hope if you haven't seen it, you go and watch it. And I hope that if you have seen it, that you continue to have conversations like this. And definitely everyone continue to have a conversation down in the comments. Let's talk about this more. Sorry for the long video. I don't know how long this is going to be when I finally edit it, but thank you for watching. Have a great day. My name is Esi Kokui, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that jazz. Love you guys. And I also do want to say that Melanin Magic, I know I'm trying to plug in my business, but it is very relevant because I want to emphasize our melanin and the magic that it contains, because it's freaking magic, you guys. We're amazing. So I want to continue to emphasize our beauty within having subscription boxes, and you can get it as often as you want. It doesn't even have to be a subscription. And so Melanin Magic is just that. It's a box to bring you magic constantly with skincare, self-care. We focus on your mind as well as your outer and outer beauty. Hair, and then we put things in there to also emphasize your Black and African culture. So we've had waist beads, head wraps, other things in there. So it's great. I hope you guys like it. Please go to melaninmagic.com to get more information. Alright, bye you guys.